What's up, YouTube, Gen X? Okay. It's playoff time. This is like my favorite time of the year. I don't want to say favorite. It's always fun to watch teams that you're interested in, but they're not your team, so you're not really tripping. But when it comes down to your team, it's definitely very stressful. And the way my Lakers have been playing, we've been up and down, but I think we'll pull it together for sure. But how do I feel? We'll start off in the West because this one is pretty simple. I feel like my team is going to make it to the finals. So we're going to make it out of the West because at full strength, I don't really see anybody really beating us. I just don't. You look at our possible contenders, and some may say San Antonio. Okay, I'll give you San Antonio. They play hard. But if we match their level of intensity, right? So we take away the sort of, okay, they play hard and, they follow the game plan. So if we match that by also playing hard and also following our own game plan, then we have the edge because we have way more talent than they do, simply put, right? You look at a team like Dallas, they're a good team, but they have no heart. They have no closer. Dirk Nowitzki is not that guy. Everybody go back and remember what happened to him when he made it to the finals and what Dwayne Wade did to him, single-handedly. But they're going to be a tough team, but, I don't really see anything different from this year's Dallas team than I've seen in the past. Dallas has always had great regular seasons, and what happens, they make it to the second round, third round, and they lose. Right? Last couple of years, it's either they're going to lose to Phoenix or they're going to lose to San Antonio. It is what it is. Are they a better team this year? Yeah, but I just don't see them having enough to beat us for 4 times within 7 games. I just don't see it happening. The Thunder, that's another good team. My problem with the Thunder is that they look really good playing against us because we do struggle with younger, quicker teams. That's our Achilles heel. We will always struggle with younger, quicker teams because we're a big team. Whenever you have a big team, you're always going to struggle against quicker teams. It doesn't matter how good they are. We've played teams that we should blow out, right? But we get a hard time with these teams because they're quick teams. It is what it is. That's the pro and con to having size. You're big up front, right? But that hurts you in terms of playing a team that likes to play small ball. Or just, a team that is high energy. But Oklahoma, they're a great team. They're in my opinion, I would say that I fear them second. First San Antonio, Oklahoma, then third, I put Dallas there. The thing about Oklahoma, however, is I'm watching to see how they respond to this year. Last year, a lot of people can say, oh, they gave the Lakers a run for their money, but they weren't on anybody's radar. Let's get that straight here. They weren't on anybody's radar, so there was that element of surprise. That's no longer there anymore, right? And I'm not saying that they're a bad team. All I'm saying is that people need to remember the Hornets a couple of years ago. Y'all remember, what was it, 2 or 3 years ago, the Hornets had a really good season, and they had a decent postseason. Was it because they were that good? No, it was because they were sneaking up on people. People weren't worried about that. So they were able to come through and kind of, catch people off guard. That was Oklahoma last year. Now they're going to have everybody's full attention. There's not going to be no more of this underdog, little guy sort of talk. So we're going to see how they respond to that and how they match the level of the team that they're playing. It's easy to get up for the champions. It's easy to get up for the Lakers. You don't have to go far for motivation. But let's see how they're going to do. Who are they playing? What are they, the 4 seed? Who are they playing? I'll look that up later. I forgot who they're playing. But, we'll see how they respond. It is what it is. You know, they're a great team, but I think there's a lot of fool's gold with Kendrick Perkins. People are definitely overrating, overhyping Kendrick Perkins. If he was so good, why did Boston trade him? The dumb part about it is, even when we lost to the Celtics in '08, he didn't even kill us. P.J. Brown killed us. Posey killed us. Sam Cassell came off the bench and killed us. Big Baby did some damage, right? So you look at who really hurt us, and Kendrick Perkins really wasn't that guy. Like I feel like it's the ideal of Kendrick Perkins more than the actual player. I'm sorry, because at best he's not even a double-double guy. At best he's like an 8.7 rebound sort of guy, right? So, I mean, he was a great fit for that Boston team, but overall, him being some sort of great player, I think people are really getting ahead of the bus on that one. So, even with his impact, yeah, he's a great impact, I guess, defensively, but he can't score. It is what it is. So, there's no real threat there. But, I mean, it was a good move. It was a good pickup, but I just feel like people are getting a little bit too ahead of themselves with Kendrick Perkins. There's a reason why Boston didn't want to sign him to whatever contract he wanted. That's why he got traded. They weren't going to, deal with all that. But we'll see. Oklahoma, they're a great team. I'll be watching for them. I like Westbrook. I like Kevin Durant. So we'll see. So that's my take on the West. I mean, I know we're still going to come out of the West, so I'm not really tripping. But it will be very challenging, to say the least. And, if we want to play like we've been playing, we're going to make it harder. But if we play focused and we play with purpose, no one's really fucking with us. On the East, this is where it gets real difficult because you have 4 teams, in my opinion, that can make it. Obviously, Chicago, you got Miami, you have Boston, and then you have Orlando. Now, I'll start off with Orlando. Orlando is a team that people want to write off. But the problem with Orlando is that they always create a matchup problem. And whenever you create a matchup problem that may be in your favor, that helps you. So you don't have to necessarily be the better team. But if you're a team that creates odd matchups, there's always going to be a window of opportunity. And as we all know, they do live by the 3, and you can die by the 3. And when they're on, they can be somewhat difficult, right? So with that being said, they will not be an easy out. Dwight Howard has definitely improved his game. Jameer Nelson, I've seen him make big shots. He's a big shot maker. Jay Rich is definitely going to do his thing. Hedo Turkoglu is going to do his thing. If they can get something out of Gilbert Arenas, I mean, if they can get something out of the dude, I think they'll be a team that you may want to watch out for. Do I think that they're going to make it to the finals? No, but, if you're not careful, they may get you. At number 3, who did I say? Boston. See, my problem with Boston is that they jumped the gun too early by trading Kendrick because I really felt like they changed up the dynamics of their team. Kendrick Perkins worked, in that overall tough guy Boston Celtic team. But when they took him away, they took that away, right? And now you're looking at their big man core, and we saw what happened with Shaq. Shaq came back a couple of weeks ago, played for 5 minutes, strained a calf muscle or whatnot. Jermaine O'Neal, I don't know how much they're going to get out of him. So when you look at what made them tough, that combination of Kevin and Kendrick, I think they fuck with that. They took that away, and I feel like they took away a piece of their identity. Kendrick Perkins was humongous for that team. He's not a great player, but for that team, he was great. And I thought that by moving him, they really hurt their chemistry. I don't really fear them, and a lot of teams don't really fear them, to tell you the truth. But nevertheless, they're still the Boston Celtics, and they're going to be difficult because they're going to play hard. It is what it is. So they're not going to be an easy out as well. But they're always going to be there. Do I think that they're going to come out the East? No, but would I be surprised if they did? No. Number 2, Miami. This is going to be interesting because, once again, they don't have a bench, right? The way the playoffs works, you have to be able to have different looks out there that can win you a game. And from what I see, the Miami Heat are only the Miami Heat when they have all 3 guys on the court. But what happens when somebody gets into foul trouble? You know, they only really have one look. Good teams can throw different combinations at you. For example, with the Lakers, we are a great team because we can give you different looks. We can take away Bynum and put Odom in the game, which is a different look. You know, we can take out Ron and put in a Shannon Brown and give you a different look. You know, we can put together different looks on the court, right? But when you look at a team like Miami, there's only really one look. LeBron, Wade, and Bosh, and whoever they want to throw out there. Now, is that good enough to win? Of course it is. Right? I've seen it. When they're on, they're definitely a hard team to beat. But, you know, we'll see when you get that playoff defense. You know, when you get that sort of, we're going to step our game up. So we're going to see. You know, we're going to see how they respond and see where they go. I still think Chris Bosh is a weak point. I feel like he's their weak link, to be honest with you. But they do have the tools to go far. Do I see them coming out of the East? Not so much, but once again, I'm not surprised. To tell you the truth, I'm really not that surprised if they do, but I just don't think they have it together. Will Miami win championships? Yeah, they will eventually, I think so, but the way they're set up, I don't think they have enough. And I said this before a long time ago, they don't have enough other guys to impress me. They don't. And their ability in the future to go off and get other guys to come in and be great role players is whack. If you look at the league, and if the league gets that smaller salary cap, they're fucked. And the way their contracts are set up, they're going to have less flexibility. This year, they had the most flexibility salary-wise. But the way LeBron and Dwayne and Chris, the way their contracts are set up, they're going to be making more money the deeper they get into their contract. So all this flexibility is not going to be there. The only thing that they're going to have is their mid-level exception. What was that, for $5 million? But that's definitely off topic. But, I mean, I think Miami will be difficult for any team. But once again, a team like Miami is prone to struggle against a team that can give you a matchup problem. A team like Orlando, for example, right? To beat a team like Orlando, you have to be crafty, because if Orlando has a matchup problem that's in their favor, right? If they have a bad matchup that works out for them, they're very difficult. And good teams can deal with bad matchups. It's simple. You know, they can lessen the blow. That's why, like I said before, the Lakers we're a good team because we can deal with the teams that have different looks. We struggle with quick teams because it's a matchup problem, but we're good enough to solve it. We're good enough to roll with the punches. Is Miami good enough to do all that? Because I can see a team like Orlando being on and giving them fits. And once again, Miami's not foul trouble. They don't have any insurance for foul trouble. Good teams always have that sort of, we can deal with foul trouble. We can deal with one or two guys being in foul trouble. That is a mark of a lot of good teams. And you look at a team like Miami, and when the game is going to slow down and people want to go to the post, what's going to happen when Chris is going to get into foul trouble? He will get into foul trouble. It is what it is. Teams will purposely go after him. Right? You know, it's just a fact. And what's going to happen when he gets into foul trouble? So you have to look for all that. Number 1, Chicago. Do I think that they're going to come out the East? I think they are. I look at that team and I'm impressed. If I wasn't a Laker fan, I would be a Chicago Bull fan. I love the way they play. They play hard, and their coach, Tom Thibodeau, was the one of the assistant coaches for Celtics, and I believe he was the one that did their defense. So looking at that, there's a certain level of toughness that they have that I like. And understand, that Chicago team, they're playoff tested. You know, the last 2 years, they've had some tough playoff battles. So it's not like there's some new team. No, they've been to the playoffs before. A big part of doing well in the playoffs is experience, and Chicago does have the experience. Let no one forget that. And they play hard. They definitely play hard, and they play with a level of intensity that I love. Derrick Rose is unguardable. He's unguardable. They have, you know, Luol Deng that can give you points, and I feel like they have a good mix. My only concern about Chicago is inside game. Carlos Boozer is still undersized. You know, I'm a little bit kind of skeptical on their inside game, but I mean, to see what they did this whole year, that does count for something for me. For them to have the overall best record in the league, that means a lot, right? You know, they play hard, and, you know, they're a very humble team. That's what I love about them. You know, you don't really see any sort of egos or whatnot, and that's very dangerous. So I do pick them. You know, I do pick them. I feel like they do play hard enough. So, you know, it is what it is. But like I said, I'm not surprised if Boston makes it, even though I don't want to see another Boston Laker finals. I'm not surprised if Miami makes it. I'm not. If Orlando makes it, I'm kind of like, what happened there? But, you know, they are a possibility. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see. So, you know, in my finals, I have Lakers and I have Chicago, and obviously I picked my squad to win that one. So, because truth be told, people can say we have, you know, we've been playing lazy for the whole season. Yeah, we have, but now it's, you know, winning time. That's the way I see it. Now it's motivation time. We coasted through the regular season. Yes, I will agree to that. But now it's, you know, game time. This is where, in my opinion, Kobe Bryant proves why he's still the number one player on the planet. So, you know, we're just going to have to see how it plays out. But it should be fun. It should be interesting. You know, I don't know what series, other than, you know, my series that I'm looking forward to. I'm just looking forward to an overall entertaining playoff. You know, it's hard for me to say that there's upsets out there because, you know, there's a lot of teams that can put up points. You know, you even look at a team like the Knicks. You know, the Knicks are what is it, the 7th seed or whatnot? I look at a team like that, and it's kind of like, okay, you know, let's say they were to win a series. Would I be shocked? No. You know, that's just how it works. Or even in the West, when you have a team like Portland. I believe Portland's playing Dallas. You know, if the Portland's at the 6th seed beat Dallas, who's a 3 seed, am I going to be shocked? No, I'm not. So, you know, it is what it is. I don't want to say that there's any Cinderellas or any stories that can, you know, catch me off guard. But nevertheless, I still think it's going to be exciting. So, y'all take it easy. Let me know how you feel and what you think. God bless.